wonderful family. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Clink. The universe sent us a good day as well. So, what a beautiful day. Very overcast, very grey, but so much water in the air. So many changes, so many meanderings, so many flowings, feeling full of celestial water, both inside and outside, like tears and remembrance. So, let us just, woke up this morning. That's why we have Blessed Ganesha again. Just woke up and I was busy singing the Ganesha mantra. It was just so beautiful to wake up in that beautiful space this morning. So, and then I went to do my good morning to Mother, and the moon was directly in front of my kitchen window. So I sang beautifully to the moon, which was still rather full. I know it's going down a little bit, but it just felt like such a special, special blessing. So I hope that you are also finding and seeing your blessings in so many small and big ways, virtually every breath we take, every step we take. So I don't know why my typing got weird today. So we're holding the temples, which is okay. So many excavations are unearthing at the moment. But let's just create a beautiful space with aromas and gratitude to so much. Wow, so much. So much. The small things, the big things, for love, for people, for the air we breathe, for the water we drink, for the lights we turn on with a flick of a switch, to the buses, the trains, the cars we ride, to our animals, to our pets, to our companions, our little avatars that lead us and comfort us, to our family, to all of magnificent creation and all that is being created, and just to be alive at this amazing time. So what a privilege. So we clear and awaken and sanctify this space and bring in all soul sisters, goddesses, guides, higher beings, the Divine Mother, the Divine Father, Mother Gaia, the Ascended Masters, the Masters, the Celestials. We thank you for your presence. We thank you for being there, for holding us, for guiding us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So we awaken this space with sacredness and holiness and put a protection around us and everybody in my golden circle. And thank you for Om Mani Padme Hum, the flowering of the perfect lotus. Clearing the heart chakra and sealing the heart chakra. Clearing the throat chakra, that we might speak and hear our truth and be creative in all things we do and be in gratitude with everything we do. And awakening the third eye, awakening the pure vision, the clarity of vision, that we might see with pure sight, and one, let our eye be single. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So I've really been working again with the waters and just channeling them. And I feel like really a bit bad because I actually have forgotten to take my water out. It's no big thing, but I still like, I'll just bless the water in the plants. It's just so when we stop to think how much water we have in our lives and how everything is water. So blessing the waters and the earth, it's like really just pouring and streaming love at every possible moment. So let us just begin with a beautiful invocation to the holy waters, to the holy new waters of Mother. The old waters, the new codes that are pouring in. And remember, it's up to us to actually keep blessing and to keep like energizing as we just keep exercising this muscle that we have. And the more people that are blessing and putting energy and good intentions into the waters, the more they will become full and saturated, and this energy will take over. Yeah, I think it's really what we've got. When you get into the history of the world, it gets a little weird. Well, this great Western civilization that we call. Yeah. So we just keep blessing the waters. Say, love is our secret weapon. Love is the weapon that we have. And whether it's a love for a plant or for your animal or for your children, for your family, for the higher good of all, love for truth. Love has so many different forms. So let us just begin with the Earth Mothers to the sacred waters. Beloved waters, firstborn breath of creation, pulse of the mother's heart, we call to you now in remembrance and love. From the mountain springs to the depths of the ocean, from the crystal tears of the clouds to the quiet rivers of the soul, we honor your song, the eternal hymn of life, returning to itself. O sacred waters, you who carry the dreams of stars and the memory of all who have walked this earth, flow once more in purity and grace. Wash away the veils of sorrow and separation. Cleanse the hearts of humankind, that we may remember our belonging to the great body of love. Mother Gaia, your veins run liquid light, streams of turquoise, sapphire, and rose. Through your currents we awaken, through your tides we are reborn. Let the rivers within us flow clear. Let the oceans of our souls rise in devotion. Let the raindrops of compassion fall upon every thirsty heart. We offer now our breath, our song, our prayer, to consecrate all waters once more as holy. Let every drop become a jewel of light, anointing this earth in remembrance of paradise restored. Beloved waters, dance again with the stars, whisper to the wind, shine through every tear until love is the only language ever spoken again. So it is, so it flows, so it forever shall be. In the name of the Mother, the waters, and the eternal light. So be it, and so it is. So it's just a huge remembrance today is to remind ourselves how amazing water is. It just keeps taking another turn. And to be grateful, we can so easily forget, but to be grateful and really focus on our gratitude and to just take time to be with water, whether it's in your bath or your cup of water or at a river, at a stream, and to energize it with incredible, beautiful codes. Ganesha as always, and he's just like really popped in so hugely to say hello. As I said this morning, I woke up just with singing that mantra Om Gan Ganapate Namaha, and it was just such a sacred beginning to a really beautiful day. So I just ended some beautiful of how I see us with the Earth Mothers, that we're birthing Mother Gaia, we're birthing the new earth, we're birthing the new waters. And the waters need to be filtered and need to be constantly loved and cherished, because everything came from water. So it's the primordial song, the first breath, the first beat of the mother. And don't forget your drop of salt in it, which is the first crystals, which hold so much memory. Don't take your water for granted. Trying to make sacred ceremony for yourself if you can. I do two like amazing, wonderful big things, which I've done, one for years and the other for a few months now, which is just pouring in our dreams, our wishes, our hopes. And sometimes I don't have any. Sometimes I don't know what to wish for. Peace on earth, love on earth. That the children are protected, that we go forth in newness and in confidence and in beauty. And sometimes it's just, I just visualize the Holy Mothers with all our sacred changing it. And just remember, it's just so amazing, so that if we put it into the waters, that everybody will get it. Eventually, like the rain from here will get to you in Florida or California or wherever you are. So it will dissipation and rain and travel, and just looking at that oneness of water that we have. So the codes just go through, the love just goes through. And I think it was Millie put a thing up how they are energizing our water, programming our water, not on the positive kind, yeah. So it's just for us just to double up, yeah, and just put forth so much energy and love into the water. As you cook with love, these things just go into the water. Remember, everything is composed of water. It's just been moon time again, so if you forgot to put moon water out, it's really okay. But to use that living water and your intentions. Intention is huge. So I've been working with some beautiful new codes. Make up your own. Visualize if you can. It's a nice thing. Actually, yeah, I'll do that hopefully soon. What water looks like. The work of the Japanese Dr. Emoto, who and it was it was a bit of a macro microscope that he looked at water, but it wasn't such a huge big deal. There was no like great big things that needed to be utilized to see the water. And he realized that you could program the water would change. So if you were grateful for your water, I will actually do a thing about that tomorrow. So we can do our own sacred codes, because that is just empowering the water. I put out like hundreds of thousands of lotuses with one pure drop of water. I do it sometimes just once a day. Sometimes I do it a few times a day, but once a day for sure. Usually that it just goes in the dreams. I think you really remember that it started when there were all those fires Hello, everybody. Welcome, 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 welcome. Sorry, I didn't seem to put it out so clearly today. I lost a few Buchstaben. I know, put it in the water, guys. Put it in the water. We're working with water, 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 water today. And as I say, I feel a little like, oh God, I've forgotten to do my water twice. My bottle of water. And it's like I was rushing out and I thought I'll go back. I thought, Dan, I didn't have time. And I thought, it's okay. I'll just talk to the water in the plants. Because I almost always remember. But it's like, oh, that was a thing that's might work for people. If you forget once, it's okay. If you forget twice, you're only human. When you start to forget 3 times, then you've got a problem. You really need to take it, you know. It was actually shared to me with like when I was on a dieting program, losing weight after my son, and we were talking about like, if you have like a piece of cake, it's fine. If you have 2 pieces, you're only human. If you have 3, then you're just greedy and you know what you're doing. So try to, and many cultures work with that 3. So yeah, however you're visualizing, if you want to use mine, just like meditate on them. They're already so beautiful to meditate with, and to just go into them. They're really sacred. They're created in a lot of sacredness. I'd like to also, when it rains, I love to just like think of every little raindrop and just like sort of do a little song and dance about let peace reign. So we tend to forget a little bit how powerful the water is, and that it's the first primordial force that was here, and we're all made out of water. And it's just taking another beautiful turn on this incredible spiral. But try to do wherever if you go to the sea, or you go to a river or something. Hello, beautiful Grace. Thank you. Try to spend like just a couple of minutes, just like in sacred ceremony to the water. Even if you pick up some sand and you just throw it into the water, or put a leaf onto the water with intention. And try to, especially if you've got children or grandchildren, it's really beautiful that you can send your prayers of love and rejuvenation to the water. I mean, I don't need to tell us how sad some of our waters are in the world. I mean, they're definitely being cleaned up. A lot are being cleaned up, and it's really sad how things got to that point. Europe, I'm not sure if America was doing it, but I know that Europe was we were sending all our rubbish over to Thailand and the islands, and so we weren't rubbish here. So we sent like cargo shiploads of shit over to them, and they just dumped it in the water. So it's not their fault, it's our fault. The other thing that I also found like was so interesting with the pollution in the water was how much of the water was from from bottles of water, and people who are supposedly being conscious will drink bottled water, but they'll end up in the ocean. I mean, that's really scary stuff. And yeah, just don't forget, okay, we out of, that's one of the worst to pollute our oceans, is the protective factor stuff that we put on our skins to protect us from the beautiful sun. That actually kills the plankton, which is like the first form of life. I know, so many things to think about. So let's look at more pretty, like wonderful things. And that was, I love energy, and it's like I hope you're all noticing how quick things are happening. One has to be really like aware of what you're thinking, of what energy is going through yourself, and because it's also going out there. And then there was one which was I think a lot of these, I mean, they were stolen and not used properly. They were used properly, but they should have been used for humanity. Were all the resonances in the cathedrals. I don't know if anybody's been to a cathedral. You see pictures of them and maybe you've studied them in art, but nothing, absolutely nothing prepares you for how the fuck did they build this. It's like insane, absolutely insane. Those vaulted ceilings, and they're so high and they're so huge. I mean, I was like really blessed enough to go to the Cologne Cathedral and to some of the ones in England. I haven't been to Chartres, but even the little ones are just like, and we've got is quite a big, they're big, they're huge. The cathedral that we've got in Bremen is huge, but like Cologne Cathedral is extremely big. Like there's nothing will prepare you for a whole day. You can't see the whole thing. So anyway, a lot of these are on, if you want beautiful codes that you know want to start manifesting, is to start thinking of those, because they very much, they are resonance. So they're very much like the stained glass windows of the cathedrals. That was, but we'll get into that another time. That yet, it was just our history over here is like really quite sad, because that was brought over. Oh, I forgot to research the actual thing of Martin Luther. I will do it tomorrow, because that was just off the top of my head that I remember. And we didn't invent the printing press. The Chinese had been printing from the year dot. We got to the party very, very late in Europe. And I mean most of America and South Africa and Australia are from European descendants. But we got to the party very late. But just put them in your water. You can get little stickers if you like. Energize your water on a plate. Whatever you do, energize it. I don't care what you do, just energize it. Energize your bath water, energize the water that you're eating, that you're cooking with, energize your coffee. Everything becomes, so it's just that life becomes permanent prayer. Maybe you choose a particular little mantra or a little saying or a blessing that you do when you're making coffee. I have mentioned that maybe just bringing your groceries home and doing a general blessing and gratitude that you brought groceries home and awaken them. This was so interesting. This I did for PG. PG works with this, and we were in Truthwave today, and I'm always on Mother Gaia, whatever I'm doing on Mother Gaia, and I just felt PG just, absolutely, Grace. It's just, and the power of the water. I mean, there's so many little rituals that you can bring in every day into your life. I like to Om in the shower, so that also, and it goes out to everyone. So if you tell your shower water every day love and gratitude, you're showering yourself with love and gratitude, but at the same time you're actually just pushing there, because it's going down. It's resonance, it's sound. So I've got so much reference work. I must just try to put it together. I'll try and put some together for tomorrow, so that you can see, they're also the resonance that happens with sound when you put iron filings. So the water, but the cathedrals, it was meant to be for everybody, but it wasn't. They just kept it in the church. Money, 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 and fear. I mean, that was, we were talking about that yesterday. There was definitely no perfect culture out there. They've all had their wars, and they've all had their jealousy and their dramas. Big time. I was, Anyway, today, so I was, during Truthwave, I just felt PG so And I just thought, oh, I must just like be on the love node for PG, just because I just really felt him. And I'm really, I feel very, at the moment, PG is working with this bright green, this lime green, and I was like, just like energized. Because, and it is, the lime green actually goes straight to the heart. I don't know if PG knows that. I think he does now. But that color goes straight to the heart, and it's like a shock to actually heal the heart. And then Victor picked it up like so quickly. Oh, see lime green. Yeah, this is beautiful. So the lime green, I'll post it up there for us. Did I post? I gave it to. I haven't spoken to him, but I still send him all sorts of stuff. So working with light lime green candles. I mean, it's nicer when it's in springtime, but this is a particularly very, very, very beautiful healing sigil. Also, green is very much at the moment. Again, another huge. Josh was also working hugely with Raphael and the fluorite today. Just like it's divine healing again. That's like the purple and the green, the purple and the green. Such an interesting, beautiful, strong combination. I just always, when I think of Josh, or when I see purple and green, I think of Josh. They're interchangeable. Now they mean the same thing with a couple of sparkles around them. Because it works with, for me, those two energies so beautifully. So just take as much healing as you can, and that was, we were talking about the rosemary in the hospitals. They also used to paint hospitals that hospital green, and they lime green tea lights actually. Yeah, I know it's we do this stuff, and we don't always know why we do it. So sometimes just do it, and somebody might come along and tell you when you say, "Okay, I was doing that." Yeah, great. So maybe you finished with them for now. Millie's on to it. So and that just like heals so quickly the heart. But germs don't. That's why they painted all those. It was a very depressing green, and they used to have green gowns. Now they have blue. I don't know why they changed. But germs don't attach themselves to green as much as they do to other colors. So we're just talking color therapy and the magnificence, absolute magnificence of color. It's just a vibration. I can remember years ago, just when that all came, I must have been in the 70s sometime, and working with magazines and just feeling, I don't know what I was doing, just that blind people can feel color, and that color has a resonance. So you can feel, if you go through a magazine which has got different colors, and test it for yourself, do it with your eyes closed, so you don't know what color's on the picture, and see what you feel. Because like red will be definitely much hotter. You will feel more energy from red, and you will feel cool from blue. Yeah. So it's another little trick you can do to accelerate and emphasize and work with your hands. I don't really work very much with the color. I was taught the color green is very healing and it's pretty safe to use, because some colors are not. They're all safe to use, but you've got to know where to use them. Yeah. So when I work with light through my hands, it's almost always ultraviolet, because that just cuts through everything, and then I don't have to think. But green is very healing and will stop blood flow, so it works for the blood. Victor, you picked up the green today when I brought in PG. I felt him on my shoulder, and I gave him, this was made especially for PG, and I just see him at the moment as lime green, and you picked that up so quickly. You see lime green, because I just thought I must be on the love node for PG today. I know that he's having a great time. Well, I hope he is. I'm sure he is. But I just felt the love node needed a little extra PG bubble on it today. just for fun. Why not? Can do it. Why not? So the lime green to the heart. So what else have we got? What else have we got? Just working with the mothers, just pushing water, just like energizing the water. Where am I? And then, of course, I go sideways diving. Oh, and Sirius for me right now. I work with my Syrians. They are very much connected for me to the water and to the ancient secrets of the water. I'm not sure when I'm going to get into this because I seem to be doing all these little side tracks. And here's you. But they really work with the Nomo and with the secret codes of water that were given. And I still don't know if they came before or after the flood because there's so many different creations that came down. I'm not sure which one we're in right now. We've come to the end with Kali Yuga, we've come to the end of that, and that could be the end or we start again. So the Indians have 4, the Hindus have 4. The Mayans, they when there was the great flood, that was the fourth sun. Our I get a little angry. I get very angry actually sometimes, like this righteous anger. I just asked a quick question today because I was diving into with the floods. I don't know what's beautiful. They're all beautiful. As I said, just like with your water, if you just think of rose, the stained glass windows. Yeah. Oh, Millie, thank you. That was actually, thank you, my love. That was a question I wanted to ask you guys, was what do you want me to talk about? So, because, I don't know everything, but I do know quite a lot. So, the Syrians, the serious, let's get serious. Many of the ancient cultures venerate the Syrians, okay? Not everybody's doing the Syrians. The Hopi don't do the Syrians. Well, everybody does. And remember that the stars of Sirius, it's the dog star, and that's like the stars that are related to the standing stones and to the pyramids. So they obviously mean a huge lot. The water codes, and I'm trying to figure out actually when they came, if it was before, because we spoke about everybody had this great deluge, everybody had the flood, everybody got swamped except the Chinese, which I'd love to discuss because that was really so interesting. They did other things with it. Yeah, the water. I'm so glad the water is resonating. The dough, and they're not going to tell us all, okay? And the guy that got most of the stuff from the Dogon, he didn't just go there and get it. He actually spent 15 years with him, this French guy, Marcel Gruyere or something. And it was so sweet, actually. He taught them to grow onions. They're very simple. I mean, they're not simple. They don't want terribly much. But he taught them to grow onions, and pretty much all the onions that are on the market in Africa come from from Mali. And apparently when he passed, there were over 250,000 elders that came from near and far to his funeral, to his burial. I mean, that was some huge mega respect. But he didn't just go there and get the stuff. And I'm not sure how much they told him, even if they told him everything. But he did learn their language, and as I said, he spent over 15 years with them. So that was like a big chunk of time to study and work with these incredible people. They were visited, their story, and many have a very similar story in Africa. Okay, that they were visited by a ship, and I mean, it's definitely a spaceship. It came like a big light and made a big noise out of the sky and landed, and then water comes out. And then these beings came out, which were the Syrians. And what they did was they told them about the stars. They told them also and these were they were the Nomo, so they were here to stay, and they've travelled around. I don't know if they travelled or if they came on different ships to different areas in the world, but pretty much everybody has the fish people, and I haven't put it together. I'm sorry, guys. Do you want that tomorrow for our Friday? I'll put together the images from pretty much all over the world. And for me personally, I think it starts to get corrupted from Greece. I think a lot gets corrupted from Greece. It's changed the stories, gets diluted, gets humanified, which makes sense to me because the Western really built so much on Greek culture. So, and it's so interesting because I studied Greek. I wanted to be an archaeologist at one stage, so I suppose that makes sense. But they basically came mainly Syrians, and they were water beings, and they would come out in the day and they would go back to their water at night. But they told people how to be civilized because people had kind of got off track a little bit, and they told them how to plant, how to weave, how to make pottery, how to build their houses, and all according to the stars and according to I'm thinking right now that it was most probably after the fall of Mu and Lemuria, because during the time of Mu, and that the Zulu people talk about that, there were no seasons, and there was no rain. So these are things I'm still trying to put them into some chronological order, and I'm getting a little blown apart about the flood mysteries and all of that. Mysteries. Just as I said to you, is just read all these things not as myths. Read them as neutral. Yeah? They taught them how to fish. They taught them, as I said, how to grow crops, how to rotate crops, how to build their houses, how to do metal work. And every culture has this, almost every culture has this, a story that there were either fish beings, mermaid beings. The Greeks have it. The Isis and Osiris were also at one time portrayed with a snake body at the bottom. Obviously, the Indians have it with the Nagas. And as I said yesterday as well, that everything that they create, so life is like a living prayer. Everything they do, if they're making tools, they're made with consciousness. They're made with a formula. They build their houses with, so it's like feng shui everywhere. That's I said, everybody has their own form of feng shui. It's just that feng shui for most of us. I don't know. I'm not sure. They most probably were many. I mean, where were the Atlanteans from? I mean, what's very clear right now is that there was this, and everybody has this huge deluge that wiped out, and they were giants that roamed the earth. And it's not myth, and don't they've hidden it, the Western stuff. have hidden so much, or they will tell you, but they never make a big thing about it. So giants have been found absolutely everywhere. They spend so much time, or so many decades and decades, arguing about the water on the Sphinx, whereas everybody's got it. Instead of like, oh, and they knew, they did know. It's just don't let the people know. I mean, something my little anger today was I was like working with the Silk Road, and I mean, I think I knew about the Silk Road. I sort of unearthed it in 2016, 2017, when I was still in South Africa, and that was like that whole land spice route. Yeah, it's absolutely. It's Mu, and Mu, we didn't have bodies. We didn't have this flesh. And that's, for me, I just think that's when in the Bible it actually says that God made clothing out of animal, because they covered themselves with leaves. Okay. That's why I said like prostitution is not the first. It's like clothing. Fashion design is the first. And that for me was like, oh, okay, so maybe it's not clothing. Maybe it was actually our body that actually became like more solidified because of our and it's now we'll be doing the reverse process, yeah. And it's a big test, guys. It's a huge experiment. Nobody knows if it's going to work. It's up to us to make it work. Yeah. So Mu, and we were much taller. And somewhere I heard in those times that that you've got a lot of those. They call them mountains in America, but they're all over the world. But they actually look like trees, and that some of the trees were over 2 miles high because there was just so much oxygen on the planet, and the air was completely different. And we were also like very, very tall energy beings. We could kind of materialize, but we weren't. And a lot have gone into Agartha and into they did go down, but their bodies are very like fluid. They do have bodies now, but still very fluid, more energy, and that's Mu. And that's really what we want. We don't even really need to eat, we don't even really need to breathe. Eating will just be something that will be nice to do just because we can. Yeah. Not for everybody. Some people not going to go up to that level right now. Everybody will get there. Um, and then there was Lemuria, and then Atlantis. Yeah, the giant trees. So there were giant people too, and the giants. I mean, that was just, and I went over it because I get like judgmental. Sorry, this whole Sumerian thing, and I knew it, and then it like just got so like hyped up by Billy Carson, who talks a lot of truth. He really does, but every now and again he really like just spurts out of his bumhole, and he has a good. Anyway, let's not go there. So I wouldn't like use him as your big point of reference. But if you go, and then there was Sitchkin who admitted that he just like got fed up with translating all the things, and he just wrote anything he wanted to. I was just like, why do people do this? It's such a waste, and I'm sorry to say it, but we need to wake up and say, what the flip is happening here? And we don't want this to happen anymore, because we are now the voice. We have a voice. And it's not going to come from our government. What made me like really peed off was that the Silk Road. Most people know about the Silk Road now, but it was incredible. I mean, it was the golden age of uh, of India, of the Muslims. There were like these. The cities were like palatial, yeah, and that UNESCO, and it's like my whole body cringes these days when I see UNESCO. But UNESCO, because I asked, when did UNESCO start the Silk Road excavations and program? And that was in 1988. Who knew about the Silk Road? Many of us weren't even born. I was born. So they've been holding that knowledge and not sharing it. I really know that I like put huge big red flags up with a lot of knowledge because I was digging for knowledge on Wikipedia in 2017, 2016, 17, 18, and it was embarrassing what was written there. And I said, well, and even like Taiwan and Thailand, I said, well, if you don't know your history, I'm going to have to tell you your history because it seems I know more about your history than you guys know. But more and more people have come out, and obviously it's changed. Like they really unearthed what amazing civilizations they were. But it was just so annihilated by the colonials or whatever this energy was. Actually, let's just as I say, sometimes just hold on to yourselves here. You don't have to hear it, but Yahweh apparently was a god of war. I mean, he talks about being a god of love and being a jealous god and being the only god that should be worshipped, but he was a god of war. And if you do read, and there should be two completely separate books, the Old Testament and the New Testament, they should be. So in the Abrahamic mythology, and I'm calling it that, it's not fucking religion, it's mythology. No, it's not reliable anymore because anyone can load info. That was usually quite good. What bothers me now is that everything sounds the same. It's all been taken over by AI. And they don't dive deep. It was great because it was interesting that people that knew knowledge could add to it. And if you didn't agree with it, you could also take it away. But I'm really not liking Wikipedia at the moment because of it's just been taken over by AI and it's got this little formula and it's like we'll give you a sweetie that's called Lemuria and that's about as much as you're going to get about it from me. You have to really the parent in Arizona used to be a tropical forest, absolutely, I'm sure. And they're the remains, oh, awesome, of the giant trees there. Oh, thank you, Grace. All turned into jasper and quartz. Amazing. Oh, beautiful. Thanks for sharing that. I saw a beautiful piece of petrified wood at Disneyland in is it Orange County? Or is that the big one that we went to? And that had turned into opal. That was just so amazing. But yeah, it's amazing how they turn into stuff. Thank you. Yeah. So at least we know we can go now. And they also, I mean, in the Grand Canyon, they've found, well, they've apparently there are pyramids in there. Why are they hiding this? I don't know. You know, just there's too many wires all along for the last like 2,000 years. Thousand definitely. You know, in the Western diaspora. I mean, come on, somebody give me another NASA name. That was out of water. There was a lot of water, and it's 40 days. Come on, guys, 40 days, 40 years. Some give it the. I think, Millie, if you want to, it's not really my thing to really go jump deep into the South American stuff. I think you feel more comfortable there, but you can find that with if you feel the call to do it. But don't if you don't feel the pull to do it, please don't do it. You know, that's like there's so much stuff out there if it doesn't say, hey, I want to know about this. But you can go and look at the Mayan and the Aztec and the Peruvian and the Bolivian stories of the Great Flood. And they're a lot clearer than the ones in the West. I honestly don't know if the Nomo Wow, thank you, Grace. Hmm. No, I can, but that it's so old. I'm still trying to find something in Europe, and I'm not finding it. I'm finding really this. I think the only for me right now, and I hope I change my words, is that if there were ever any cavemen, they came from Europe that were not educated, that needed civilization. But they seem to have like whirling fossils. Oh wow. Wow. I'm quite sure of that. Although it rained, I think, who was it? The Peru, one of them. That it rained for 42 years or 48 years. Others say 52 years. Oh, sorry, 52 years. Um, and it was definitely that the highest source was not very happy with the world, and they had become very greedy. And it's in there in the Bible in the first couple of verses as well. That they came and they whether they changed our DNA or whatnot. But I think that we were really pure. This was made as this beautiful, pure, pure, beautiful place of Mu and perhaps Lemuria there. But sorry, I was talking about the Sumerian. The timelines there are insane. The the kings, the date of all the kings. So they're going back 240 odd thousand years. It's also some magical number that goes into something, goes into something. And they reigned, they give you all their fabulous names. They reigned for like 47,000 years. He reigned for 32,000 years. That's a long time. I mean, what were they doing? That's the whole Sumerian thing, which, of course, when we had 911, that was also part of the Silk Road. But of course, 911 was then just for me, was just a good excuse to go and annihilate so much of that stuff because there's so many portals and there's so much history there. But that's going back, and it's just so amazing because then you have the Gilgamesh, and if you read, it's quite clear that he was just born of a mother, and that he was some kind of test tube experiment. He wasn't like a proper human being person, and he had the strength of gods. And he was definitely some like manufactured hybrid. It's fine. It's not a problem. There were giants and there were dinosaurs. I always thought that was like, well, my my thinks. I like to be very simple. Is that's part of the Luciferian stargates, hugely there, and so easily accessible. But I mean, I saw pictures of how some of these ancient sites were just like reduced to rubble from the mortar attacks. It's like really, really sad. But cuneiform was quite easy. What they managed to translate it, interpret it quite soon. But it's amazing how they will actually accept the time lineage after Gilgamesh, which is like, okay, so 1,000 years, but they won't accept the ones before. They'll accept everything after. I mean, if that is truth, then surely there must be some truth in what was happening before. And I read something somewhere as well. So last week's been like really wild in my brain. Wow. Sumerian timelines, water, fossil trees, giants roaming the earth. How why are they covering this stuff up for so many centuries? Every time it comes out, yeah, I'm sure gold and silver are soaring. Um, what was I going to say? Water, 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 water. Back to the Nomo. The Nomo never left, Millie. They're still here. And we had visitations a couple of years ago from them. We didn't know who they were because a lot of that information hadn't come out. So this is unearthing the ancient sites. Ah. No, Victor, what's the implication of gold and silver soaring? Well, I know that Africa want to put everything on a gold standard again. America's long gone, no longer on a gold standard. England was on the silver standard, sterling silver. Oh, the colonials, there's just so much corruption, yeah. So I don't know what even England, because England stole so much from Ireland. And those people, I mean, they were Druids, but they were really, really very basic people. And so were they here in Europe. There's no great, I mean, Turkey has Göbekli Tepe, and there's like quite a few. Göbekli Tepe, I've seen somewhere, they actually reckon it was like closer to 100,000 years old, which makes more sense to me. And I mean, there again, they're covering that up. And they were busy chiseling as things were happening. So there was some cataclysmic stuff happening from the sky. They've also just like unearthed, not in Göbekli Tepe, the place next to it. Global currencies are most likely to fail, and the new monetary systems are getting closer to. Oh, okay. And hey, I don't, yeah, in it, yeah, thanks, yeah, yeah. Well, that was America. That was, I mean, Germany was just, but Germany's just invested 50 billion in something to kind of bail us out of bankruptcy here. Hope that it works. Well, I'm very tired. I put a lot of love energy on Germany. It's very, very difficult. Okay. Okay. It's going to be an interesting world in 5 or 10 years' time. I mean, it's definitely going to be completely changed. I just like my prayer also is hugely. This is why also works to put more and more energy into the water, into the earth, well, into the plants. That's what I do. Do what you like. Um, when I do my water, like I said, sometimes it'll be around oak trees, and then I want all the oak trees in the world to whisper to people, and some people will pick it up, and some won't, and that's also fine. Um, Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with Germany. When they so Germany, Germany, Germany. I have a lot to say about Germany. I don't know. I really, honestly don't know. Lindsay, my darling. Hello, my beautiful one. Yes, love yourself, my sweetheart. It's really important. Yeah. Oh, absolutely, Millie. I was still being nice about saying like 5 to 10 years time. I mean, next year is going to be very different as well. Things are changing so rapidly. I'm just like, I'm in a little village, so I don't really notice. Nothing really changes here. But I see, I can weep when I see the advertisements that they have, the German ones. They, yeah, still on very much. They like the their medicine, their um, hearing aids, and all sorts of weird things. Yeah, they like to treat illness. They like to develop their chemicals and their prostheses, which are. Did you see that the Chinese developed a glue for bones? I was wondering how they do that though. Do they do it under an operation and then put? And it's like really, so you don't need all those other weird contractions. Apparently, it's quite amazing. I was just like, because I broke my wrist a while ago and it was really badly broken. So they had to really open it up and fix it up. Thank you, Lindsay. Just remember to love yourself often during the day, Lindsay. Yeah. Remember to take time just to love. I love my 1, 2, 3, 4. I always think of Millie when I see 1, 2, 3, 4. It was when I got my voice. My first live with PG. Yeah, first live with PG. I hadn't put up the volume, so it was. But we tried all sorts of technical things, and then at 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I don't know. I didn't really. I just heard it, and I heard that it's like they've like worked with it really well. I mean, that's also, we were, yeah. I mean, the communist era in China was not pretty. But there again, they wanted to destroy. What is it about trying to destroy the culture? Well, if you destroy the person's religion and their culture, you destroy their soul, and their grounding, then they have nothing. So it's really important. Mm. And that was really based on lies. Yeah. But they pulled out all the flowers and all the grass because they yeah, everybody did their French Revolution. Wow, it's a lot. 4K a gram for gold. Mm. Yeah. But nothing, all the gold in the world cannot buy you a drop of pure water. As Josh said about diamonds are a girl's best friend. It was a marketing ploy, I think in the 50s or the 60s, of another thing for money for De Beers. They ransacked the gold mines, the diamond mines in Africa. That is so sad. Oh my God, how they managed, how they got the people to work. Oh. So, I mean, where does that come from? I mean, there is that story that they came for the gold to save the planet, and they made us into, they changed our DNA to make us into a worker race for them, which is just, I mean, that's what need to change the DNA. They just did that in South Africa completely. They just you could be a miner or a street worker, nothing else. Lots of love, Christine. Yeah, it's yeah. May you have beautiful, wonderful dreams. Is Lakeside here? Where's Lakeside? I saw her somewhere. Laura, you can connect so beautifully. You might connect with your Nomo, with the water spirits at the lake. They're really jumping out. Well, it's just like, yeah, is it a Navajo thing when the last fishes died? Then you will realize that your money was not that important. Trading was good, bartering and trading. This whole commercial thing is yeah, dog eat dog, dog eat dog. Yeah. The Western were not so good, were so nice with trading. They really created a lot of problems. From the Portuguese stealing the Chinese ships and taking their cargo. And the Dutch, everybody was stealing, all the piracy. Victor, do you have a garden? Do you plant food? I'm sure Laura does. Who plants food? There was that was one of the there was a story I was reading about the sea being made salt. It was also linked with like the gold. Oh, awesome! Thanks, Millie. Yeah, as I said, just like read all these things. I mean, way back at the end of, I think it was the end of the 1800s. There was a guy here in Germany called Heinrich Schliemann, and he read, I think it's in the Iliad, where they speak about Atlantis and Helen of Troy. And this was, for centuries, this was just a myth. What's the other one? Oh, it's an inner journey. It's just read them as if they were real stories that really happened. This is like I was doing like quite a bit of research on the Mahabharata today, and they keep wanting to tell me that it's like an inner journey of the soul, and I'm saying no, but there's this guy, and I don't have his name right now, an Indian engineer who's actually plotted through the astronomy, not astrology, astronomy, because they talk a lot about the stars. And he's actually virtually pinpointed it almost to the year, almost to the day, because they talk about like eclipses and things. So he's gone back and he's like put this in at, yeah, fire, wing, earth, absolutely. I know, I know. And yeah, you have such a beautiful spot to enjoy it in. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I should say thank you for your service. Big time. Big, big, big time. Oh, garlic is good. Anything is good. Who was I was with him? Oh, and he's actually given the date now of that cataclysm to 6,100. And people like to just say 2 or 3,000 before the Common Era. So where was I going with this? Oh, Schliemann. Okay, so I went off that because it's actually much longer than the Iliad and the Odyssey combined, like 10 times longer. It's the longest poem ever written, and it was supposedly no, it was not supposedly. It was scribed by Ganesha. But he read Troy, and he was a ship a shipping magnate. And he had a dream that he would be in Athens and that he would marry a woman called Helena or Helen, and he just believed that he was going to that he was going to follow the all the signposts just literally from the Iliad, and he was going to find Troy. Everybody just laughed at him in good German fashion. Ridicule is the wonderful one that they like. Yeah, no, we didn't. But if you plant, if you plant parsley with your roses, you'll get very good roses. And they use roses to monitor the grapes in the vineyards. So roses are beautiful. Oh, roses are beautiful. The eternal quest for the blue rose. So he just followed the Iliad and off he went. Made lots of money through his shipping thing. And he did. He walked down this road, what he'd seen in his dream, and he did marry a woman called a Greek woman called Helen. And he went and he started. He wasn't an archaeologist. He just wanted to do this, and he started a dig, and obviously cost lots and lots of money. And everybody laughed at him. And he dug and he dug and he dug and he dug and he dug, and he didn't find Troy, but he found the gold of. He found a city, and it was the gold of Agamemnon, which was huge. So you can Google that. Was just there was so much gold, which obviously went to the museum. By now his money was finished. He said, "No, no, no! I'm telling you now. There's Troy is still here. Troy is underneath here." And obviously everybody still continued to laugh at him and said, just like, stop now, you've made enough. No, so he came back to Germany. He made his mega bucks again, being a shipping magnate. He remade his fortune a few times, and he just put it into these archaeological digs. And he dug and he dug and he dug and he dug still, because they built on top of each other, so many cultures. So it goes really, really deep down, a lot of the archaeology. And he did find Troy, and he found the walls, everything, and the jewelry and all of that. And people were like, really like, they were not happy that he'd found. There was not like great acclaim. And he went around Europe and mainly Germany talking about his find. And his wife, so I was in the Berlin Museum, and there are only photographs. There's some of the stuff from Troy, and obviously his story. Now he's a German national hero, but then he wasn't. He was just a Germany's national clown. And it was pretty much, I think, Einstein had similar problem. You know, when he would give lectures, people would ridicule him. I don't know why. Yeah. Heinrich Schliemann. Oh, grapes, yummy, yummy, yummy. Is it grape season? Mm. I love grapes. Grapes are awesome. But the seeds are good. The seeds are the best part of the grape. But yeah, so they really ridiculed him and they criticized him hugely because he would do these lectures, and he absolutely adored his wife, Helen, who was most probably Helen of Troy once upon a time. And she would wear these incredible, this jewelry that he'd found worth billions, never mind millions. And they, as I say, absolutely ridiculed him. And then he just decided to stop, and I think it was with the war. I'm not sure if it was with the war. But the jewelry just disappeared, everything disappeared, and he never told anybody where the jewelry was. I saw a picture a few years ago in 2018 of Madonna. She'd been to someplace in Africa. And I looked at this and I thought that what she's wearing looks exactly like the jewelry of the so you must probably went and like hid it somewhere in Africa, because yeah, it feels like a soup day. But yeah, I still just so he didn't like go into listening to the ridicule. He just followed, but it was private, you know. Anything that comes from the academia is from the Western academia. There was this guy that's actually worked now with the Dwaka. What is it called? Dwaka, which is that's the sunken city, which they started researching, then they stopped, then they started again. Now the Indian government has actually like said we're going to research this ourselves. But when I listened to this guy, he said, "Are you going to wait for some um, educated person in the West to say yes, this is now right? Going to take decades for them to actually acknowledge it, or you're going to just say, okay, we found it, let's just accept it and carry on from there." What is keto soup? What should I make for soup? So yeah, Helen of Troy, Trojan horses, ridicule. And that was also with the Nomo. Academia also said no, that the people in Mali had been visited by a few, and this is what they do with all the African stuff, that they had been visited by a few missionaries and they must have heard talk of Sirius. So now they've managed to plot the stars exactly. I mean, come on, guys. How stupid are we? How stupid are we that we've all just like gullibly accepted what academia, science, medicine has, the schools have just pushed down our throats. And not really questioned it. How long did Coca-Cola deny that there was any cocaine? I mean, they just can't deny it anymore. You know, when the real story that comes out is, what is, I still don't know what keto soup is. Don't know what keto soup is. Oh, I can make spinach rice, that Greek soup. Soup for dinner sounds good. Soup does sound good. And I went up to the bakery and they were closed already. I did want a bread roll for tonight, but I didn't get one, so I'll make a rice soup. That actually sounds really nice. You know, that one with spinach. They denied everything. They've denied, academia have denied everything. Or ridiculed everything. And it's not just Germany, it's England. Yeah. Oh no, they didn't, you know? Oh no, they denied it hugely, very big. Probably the ingredients for the keto diet. But it was he was a morphine addict. I think he was a morphine addict. I know, and Freud was just so sad. I mean, Freud was really. They venerate him hugely here, and there's a hospital up the road here where they did all sorts of experiments, and Freud was also with the Freud wing. He they were all. Oh God, I wish they would prescribe it again. Um, the British lived on at the end of the 19th, in the 1800s, early 1900s. They, especially if you were high society, you had you lived on laudanum. Laudanum was for everything. Laudanum was a mixture of opium and sherry, and that was like proudly displayed. And it was a tonic for everything. And they put laudanum in children's cough syrups, children's pacifiers, make your baby happy. So everybody was like on opium. And then along came cocaine, thanks to the Germans. They managed to synthesize cocaine. And cocaine was that little buzz that would make you just like the socialite at the party. Huh? No. No, they come on, Victor. There's so many bad jokes about the IRS that they will be there after the end of humanity. They will survive in their bunkers. Oh, okay. Hmm. Oh, I don't do X. I don't do very much right now, except listen to weird things. Yeah, then cocaine came along, and then first it was in liquid form, and then they made cigarettes. I mean, guys, these guys were like crackheads. So everybody was completely like tripping out on stuff and like talking to the curtains. Um, and then the next phase was that you could actually buy a kit and you could actually inject yourself at home with cocaine. Ah, yeah, that's the one I'm going to do with lots of lemon. Yeah. Hmm. I will have to look what's happened. I don't know how it's going to affect us because obviously that's like if you still have $1 million over that side. No. But German's very money orientated. I'm coming, my bunny boo. So we hope it's good news. What's happening out there in the sky with our sun at the moment? So I might look into it, but I don't know. I'm trying to do less and less and just follow me and just see where that goes. I was never one for the for computers and media and radio and the news. I preferred to do my own creation and stay completely out of everything. Just been so thrown into stuff. Okay, guys, that's about it for today. I'm going to leave us all to go and eat soup and enjoy our soup and connect with our water. And I will look at the water. I'll put it nicely together for us tomorrow. Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, no, we were doing the black sun. I don't know what you're getting. I know like TG and I were playing with the black sun a while back, but we do weird things. We're definitely way out on a limb, and that's okay. I know that I hold serious codes and things from somewhere else. I often wonder how I managed to get up here or get there. But I get the stuff, and I get it like before most people get it. So it's just, but I'm just into love right now. I'm just into pouring, pouring, pouring love. I'm going to have a great day. You've made me hungry. I'm going to go and make rice and spinach and lemon with egg soup. That sounds just the perfect for today. So, without my bread roll, which is really sad. So I'm going to leave you with some beautiful pictures. And I think we should do that beautiful prayer again, just so that we remember what the water is about. If I can find that. Can I find anything right now? I think so. Cool. So the invocation of the earth mothers of the sacred waters. Beloved waters, firstborn breath of creation, pulse of the mother's heart. We call to you now in remembrance and love. From the mountain springs to the depths of the ocean, from the crystal tears of the clouds to the quiet rivers of the soul, we honor your song, the eternal hymn of life returning to itself. O sacred waters, you who carry the dreams of stars and the memory of all who have walked this earth, flow once more in purity and grace. Wash away the veils of sorrow and separation. Cleanse the hearts of humankind, that we may remember our belonging to the great body of love. Mother Gaia, your veins run liquid light, streams of turquoise, sapphire, and rose. Through your currents we awaken, through your tides we are reborn. Let the rivers within us flow clear, let the oceans of our souls rise in devotion. Let the raindrops of compassion fall upon every thirsty heart. We offer now our breath, our song, our prayer, to consecrate all waters once more as holy. Let every drop become a jewel of light, anointing this earth in remembrance of paradise restored. Beloved waters, dance again with the stars. Whisper to the wind. Shine through every tear until love is the only language ever spoken again. So it is, so it flows, so it forever shall be. In the name of the Mother, the waters, and the eternal night. So be it, and so it is. With so much love, everybody, as always. Much, much love. Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. And just be love. Expand your auras. And think of Mu, the time before all of this nonsense. So love, 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 and bon appetit to everybody. Take good care. Bye.